So that there may be votes from people who are against taxes but want to put it before the people, so there can be a great debate in California. What really is our future?
Would you support that local tax option as an alternative if your plan is not
I'm
true?
not going to. I'm going to keep my powder dry as to what I'm going to do. If this doesn't work, there's going to be a lot of revisions and alternatives and corrections I'm going to have to face. But I'm not going there yet.
Are you negotiating? A lot of the Republicans are saying, or some Republicans are saying, that they were right to oppose the tax extensions because now you're pulling back, at least on the income tax one for 1 year. Aren't you concerned that they're going to be even more emboldened now and say, look, if we dig in even more, we'll block this completely?
If they do, we can go back to our. Can we get that slide on the 34.7? 34.7. There we have it. Yeah, no, 34.7. That's slide. You're going the wrong way. Keep going. You're going the wrong way. Other way.
Oh, last slide. Okay.
You went by it.
No, you went too fast. This is not. Keep going. Let's go back a little bit. No, that's the wall of debt. All right. So
there you go.
This is the result of gimmicks. And you could add another 10 or 20 billion to that. The finances get worse and worse. And then you have a downturn, and it becomes exacerbated. We're seeing the debt clock for the country. I don't think we need a debt clock for California. We need to start paying it off. And that's what Republicans can do. And to get their vote, they're going to ask certain things, and I'm willing to certainly negotiate. I want to get the tax extensions, and I'm going to have to, make whatever accommodations I have to make.
Governor,
still need them.
You've been going around the state saying that if we don't get these extensions, we could see $4 billion or more in cuts to education. Is that in here? Do we have cuts if this plan isn't through? What happens to education if we don't get these extensions?
Well, it's a good question. What happens to the budget? I mean, if we don't have any tax extensions, then what? That's a good. We're going to have an $8 billion hole, and next year we're going to have $20 billion.
So you don't address that in your revise, though, as far as what will happen.
Well, it's not a what will happen. I'm proposing what should happen. If that's rejected, well, we'll go to Plan B, C, and D. But I'm not going to try to anticipate because there's, a variety of things we can do.
And what is Plan B or C or D?
I'm not going to give you a plan. I'm not going to give the Republicans a roadmap to ruin. I've given them a roadmap to success, and that's what this May revise is.
Governor, why?
And by the way, I've asked Anna after this to list very carefully the so-called Republican plan and how your preliminary estimate is it's $8 or $9 billion deficit this year, and then $20 billion next year. So that's back into the hole again. And I think that's bad. I think it's bad in the country. It's bad in California. It's bad for people who bought houses they couldn't afford with money they didn't have. I mean, I want to see balanced, honest budgeting, and that's what I'm proposing.
But Governor, you're proposing to fund Prop 98 at about $3 billion above what you had proposed in January. Why? I mean, I realize Prop 98 goes up when revenues increase, but you could choose to suspend 98 and direct that money toward other cuts that you and Democrats have agreed to, or use it for other. I mean, that $3 billion. Schools aren't even planning for that $3 billion, right?
Look, we still got deferrals. People who have charter schools who can't borrow money go out of business. We ought to pay our bills on time. It's not a good example for the state itself to be a scofflaw or to be always kind of cadging from local government or schools or charter schools or the people themselves. I think we got to pay our bills. This is honest, and there's something infantile about the idea we spend and then we borrow. Well, in balance, that's okay, but we've exceeded the limit. And what I'm saying is the wall of debt has to be brought down. My plan does that. The alternative is to increase the spending, increase the debt, and ultimately increase the cuts. I'm letting 98 is what it is. It takes a 2/3 vote to suspend it.
Does that mean that your January plan was not honest because it relied on a deferral that added to this wall of debt?
No, it said exactly what it is. I'm telling you what it is. These solutions, and we could take you back to that other one that showed you most of the last 3 years, were not real. This year, we have a $9 billion carry-on. That budget, that was in January, we said we had $9 billion carried over. Isn't that right? $9 billion. Okay. In October, they said the budget was balanced. That means in 90 days, they went $9 billion in the hole. The truth is, they knew it wasn't true at the time. I'm going to tell you the way it is. And I laid out in the budget in January whatever deferrals and spending we had to do, because you could only cut so much. I mean, we do have borrowing. The amount, but how much? And how much do we kick the can down, and how much do we embrace the necessary discipline? And I think that's what we're doing. Yes?
Governor, you are proposing to eliminate the Department of Mental Health. What's your vision for how this new Department of State Hospitals and
Diana is standing right in the back here, waiting to be recognized. Come up here, Diana. It's your idea, so you explain it.
The realignment proposal moves the community mental health programs and community drug and substance abuse programs to the local level. And what is left is the operation of the state hospitals. It's our proposal at this time not to let the state hospitals be left over, but to affirmatively go forward, create a state department of state hospitals now, get the leadership that those state hospitals need, and address the long-standing problems that have existed in the operation of our state hospitals.
That's all she knows, so it should be good enough for you. Anybody else?
Governor,
Yeah.
you just said that you intend to do have the legislature vote on the tax package and then have the voters vote
Yes.
after the fact.
Right.
The Republicans aren't putting up the 4 votes to even put it on the ballot. How do you intend to get 4 Republican votes to approve the?
Well, that's
the
part.
tax
They know
package?
that. The Republicans I'm talking to know that they have to vote the tax extensions.
But they're not
No.
providing the votes to put it on the ballot at this point. How are they going to vote?
Well, they're
how are
providing
you gonna
they're
do
providing encouraging words about putting the votes on the ballot, but not something I can count yet.
What are you going to do to try and reach out to Republicans to both get them to vote? for the
I've talked to
taxes?
them. I met with them last week in person. I spoke with some of them within the last hour, and I will continue working as hard as I can in the next couple of weeks to get those 4 votes.
Do you feel like they're listening?
Oh, I know they're listening, but they also have very raucous caucuses that want them to do the opposite.
How many are you talking to? 4?
Well, different. I'm talking to anybody I think that is a plausible vote, and that's more than 4 and less than 10.